we can't really see in the tank at the moment. He's tight on there. Come on, buddy, I don't want to hurt it. Strolling around. Can anyone tell me what this is? And yeah, look, listen to this. It's like crisp. I hate finding these apps and getting them all to work. Device disconnected. I pressed it. Oh, yeah, they might help. And this is most definitely a fish tank. I just want to try it one more light. Okay, swap it again. So many of you keep asking about my saltwater tank. It's been a long time since I've shown you anything, but yeah, it's kind of been taken over. So the problem with this tank in this area is it's so hard to film, and we're going to get a lot of reflection. So first thing I need to do is clear out all of this stuff here, bring in the curtain so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Maneuver that. Oh, I really need to tighten this bit. Right, there we go. And there we go. Such a pain doing this, but it's worth it. It's worth it for you guys. So, as you can see, we can't really see in the tank at the moment because look at the size of that macroalgae. This is, I think it's called red flame. Now the fish are absolutely fine. They don't mind it because it's almost like a giant anemone for them. They come in and out of it, not now because I'm up against the glass and they come in to say hello. Fish are doing absolutely great. We've actually got an anemone in here. Apparently, let me just adjust. Apparently it's like one of those pain anemones that people don't want and it goes everywhere, but I really like it. Struggling to see it a bit at the moment. So when I take out some of the macroalgae, I'll definitely be leaving that area. Also, I'm not a massive fan of the lighting. It's just all purpley and blue. And I just think, like with macroalgae tank, the normal planted tank lights just look way better. So I'm going to switch that out as well. So there's a few things I want to do first. I don't know if you noticed back then, but there's a lot of, I wouldn't say it's like green dust algae for planted tanks, but it's not quite the same in a saltwater tank, but it still needs scraping off. So we scrape off the glass. Also, I want to, like I said, I want to change the lighting out and I'm going to have to remove some of that macroalgae. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on with that first and then see what we need to do after that. I might want to get some more stuff as well for it, but maybe today, I don't know. I want to scrape the front of the glass, but we've got our snail here and they are so suctioned on. But I think the way is just to gently, he's tight on there. Come on, buddy, I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to hurt it at all, but they are on so tight. If I put the razor near it, it will come off, but I don't want to put a razor near a live animal, of course. He is not, oh, there we go. I don't know if these particular snails can self-right, so I'm just going to put them down on the substrate. So yeah, I could just put him down here, look, and then he can come out and go where he wants. It was really tight on there. He's strolling around. Look, we can see now the anemone a bit better. Look at that, can you see it? So it's like a little one, but I like it. I'm trying not to touch it because I'm not sure if this one stings or not, but it was bigger than that, but I think it's been disturbed by me cleaning the tank. But yeah, so I'm not gonna touch that area at all, and hopefully it just sort of keeps growing. Can anyone tell me what this is? Is it like a pest or an invasive one? Because I like it. So that's all the glass cleaned now. It's now just I've just got to make a selection which bits I want to get rid of. Now, ordinarily in a planted tank, if I take anything out like this, like the macroalgae, because I'm kind of thinking of macroalgae as plants in a planted tank, I'd transfer them over to another tank and keep it all going. I don't have another tank, which is annoying, but the good thing is this stuff grows so fast that having a good thin out is not that like disastrous. It's going to be back to this within a month, I reckon, anyway. So we've been doing a bit of maintenance today already, and yeah, I got a bit of my dinner in there as well, but feels weird mixing saltwater stuff with fresh water, but I just got to get in. Funny thing with this stuff is I don't really know how to prune it, so I'm just kind of ripping it. And I think you can, because any piece of it that goes anywhere else just starts to regrow. It's not like with plants where you've got like a node or a root. It's almost like you can rip it anywhere. And if you're interested in how it feels very crispy. Like, yeah, really rough texture. It's got like these little spikes on the edges and running up the spine, but it feels solid. Yeah, look, listen to this. I think you can hear that. It's like crisp, but it's not like a dead leaf that would break up. It's the first time I've actually felt this since putting it in, what was that? Oh, over a year ago now. It's been growing for a year. Right, I've hacked away a lot there. I've basically filled the bucket up, and it's really exposed my pulsing Xenia here. Xenia, one or the other. But yeah, it's just tucked up at the moment because it got brushed a few times, ripping all the macroalgae, but that'll come out in a second. But I also found this like traditional macroalgae down the bottom that was tucked right at the back. So I want to push this into the substrate and have it a little bit more in the foreground because the contrast with the green, I think, and also the red or pinky, purpley of the flame. I keep wanting to say flame moss. It's not moss, it's macroalgae, but yeah, it's like a full macroalgae tank that'll be then. That'll look great. Sorry guys, I'm really tearing things up for you, aren't I? But look at the space. They're like, no, we liked it before. It's now the next day, and all that rustling and that just murked the water like you wouldn't believe, but it's really, really clear now. But what I want to do next is just swap out the light, just to see. You know, this, I might prefer this one, but you don't know unless you try. So I've got a plant light to go on there. I've actually got the, hang on, I've actually got the Fluval, I've had this in storage for a long time, but the Fluval Nano. But I like the way it curves over. I think that could work quite well. So yeah, give it a go. Well, I have to say, actually, Fluval, nice design. Tidy, the way that this slots through there, clip on, yeah, good job. So the light is a lot warmer, and to like the purest marine people, they're gonna be, I don't know, not massively happy with that. But the good thing is about this one, this isn't a plug, by the way. They haven't paid me for this. It's been sat going mouldy for about 3 years. Good thing about the Fluval Nano is you can edit the sort of LEDs that are showing. So I can actually put a bit more blue in it, but I just don't want it full on blue-purple. I was a little bit worried about it sat that far back, that it wouldn't light up that well, but it's lighting everything really well. It's a bit shaded in the bottom area, but again, I quite like that. Let's try and change it. Now, as much as I love like a light you can mess about with, I hate finding these apps and getting them all to work. Like, give me a switch any day just to scroll through the different settings. Ugh. See, I don't even know if that's device disconnected. Click to, I pressed it. I just don't know why it should be working. Oh. Yeah, they might help. What? It's a light. Oh, there's 15 languages. Okay, cool. Where's the app bit? All it says is use this QR code. Oh. Okay, I apologise, Fluval. It was my fault. I hadn't scanned for the device, and I was trying to connect it to a light that I had about 5 years ago. Yay, right, I'm in. Okay, so now I can move down some warm. That didn't do anything. Oh. Right, I'm turned. That's all of them turned down to off. So pure white, right up. Add some blue. Okay, let's add some warm. Okay, yeah, basically we'll want them all on, I think. Because if I turn any down, it's just like quite dim. Only, I think that's purely because it's not coming out far. It's not designed for this tank at all, but stick them all on. Done. I've got one more light to try just because this one is a little bit too warm. If I turn down the warm tones, it's not bright enough. So this is called the Flexi Mini. They don't even make this anymore. Again, I've had it just tucked away for ages, not even taken it out of the box. Can't buy it. Let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1. No, that one's nowhere near bright enough. That's actually for a nano tank. So what a stupid thing of me to even think. Right, I put the light back on. I just want to try one more thing, I promise. I rarely throw things away. They sit in boxes for years. So here, I've got a ton of old lights. Remember when I used to use these floodlights? I love these. I'm going to start doing some more stuff with these again. This, I remember I had this Chihiros light. No, not that one. That is I don't even know what that one is. I've got this Chihiros light. Look, that comes out far. And, oh no. Don't have the end. I've got to go. I remember I had a controller like that. That looks familiar. I think that's the one. Well, we'll soon find out. Got the plug. But I don't have a bracket thing for the end. And I can't find it in here. Oh, scratch that. I have found it in here. Oh, but I don't have the clamp bit. And it'll just fall up and down. That's a shame. Okay. That's got a clamp on it. I doubt very much that's going to fit. Because these things never work, do they? Hopefully. It looks about right. Just stick that in there. That's a good sign. Good sign. Come on, Lady Luck. Come on, Lady Luck. The moment of truth. Yes! We got it. Okay, right. It's not the prettiest of things, but shouldn't see it too much anyway. Now, hopefully it turns on. Oh, I think we nailed it. Oh yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Fishies, come to the front. Let me see you. One of the things I didn't like about the fish was the whites look purple, but now they look like the colour they should be. But what it is showing more is the algae that's on the surface. So definitely just want to give that all a stir up. It's going to look an absolute mess, but yeah, I think that's way better. It's much more like a macro algae tank should be, and especially when this starts growing all the way around. So as I stir it up now, I'm just going to replant this to the substrate should be the colour that you're seeing at the base of that algae. So yeah, I've just never really noticed it with the other light. You can't, it just goes a darker purple, but look how good the, I think it's called flame tongue, the macro algae here. I'm not entirely sure because I'm clueless to salt water, like, you know, all the names and stuff. So during quite a lot of that segment, I noticed that the flow was nowhere near what it usually is. And I worked out, I've never actually done this because it's never needed it before, but this little thing here, the pump, has got this grating on the front, obviously to stop large particles going into the impeller, and it was completely covered up, like with crusty stuff. I don't even know what it was. But yeah, put that back on. We should now get some decent flow, which you're not going to see in the following shots because it's now at the end, but I'm adding it in the video so that everyone doesn't think like that is the normal flow. So we have royally messed up the tank, but I think come tomorrow, it's going to be completely clear again. At the back, it's got like an internal filter built in this, like a sump system that's behind. So I'm going to take out the foams. I'm just going to get them nice and clean. I'm also going to put some filter floss in there as well. Get this absolutely perfect. There's still quite a bit of gravel that's got some algae on it that was compacted, but it kind of looks realistic. It's also nutrients potentially as well for the macroalgae, the green one that's in the substrate. I really want that to go everywhere. That'll look great, but I think this is going to be an improvement. Not to everyone. Some people are going to hate it, I know they are, but I like switching things up. And I kind of lost interest in the tank because of that gloominess, and this is going to change that. And whilst we're waiting for this to clear, I want to show you something else that I've been working on. So I've been working on this tank here, the Malawi Cichlid tank, just filling it back up again. It needed a water change, but we've noticed that if you look inside the tank, you can see that the plants we put at the back there, it's very rooty. It's a little bit messy compared to the rest of the tank. So I want to put some big leafed Anubias in those sections. It will transition it nicely above, and it will hide some of that chaotic rootiness. So you're probably looking at this then thinking, oh, that's very murky for one of my tanks. It's literally just been filled up. The sand wasn't even clean, so it's going through its first sort of cleaning process. But when we come back in tomorrow, it'll be crystal clear. I'll show you it all. And I've got a really good feeling about this tank. It's kind of different for a Malawi Cichlid tank because you wouldn't really have all the Anubias on the edges because they're quite deep water fish. We're sort of trying to simulate both in this section. And already I can see all the fish are using the upper areas as territories. These guys are out the front. They're already way more comfortable than without it, so I'm really pleased with that. Sometimes you've got to do things for the fish. It's not just all about an aquascape, and this is most definitely a fish tank. So what we can do, we can come back to this tomorrow, show you it looking absolutely clear, and hopefully the fish are really enjoying what we've done with Escape. Right, it's the next day, and the reef tank, well, it's not really a reef tank. It's a macroalgae tank, but it's really cleared up. I'm happy with it. I just want to try it one more light. I promise this time, just one more. So yeah, everything is looking so nice and clear. Fish were yesterday, just before I left, were all out in the open at the front, right after I'd stirred it all up. But they seem to really love that back corner. Hopefully I'll get them out. I'll feed them in a minute. But first of all, look at the lighting. I do love the reds and everything. We have lost a little bit of that underwater vibe. Although I was looking at some stuff online yesterday of reef tanks in natural sunlight, and it does look a lot like this. The rocks definitely look very similar. Obviously I can't testify for the corals because I don't have them. But the pulsing zania, look, the lights haven't been on that long, so they're just sort of waking up. But yeah, kind of eerie it looks, because it was purple, but now it looks like a brain. But yeah, one more light to try. So this is a planted tank light, and then over on this tank here, we've got another planted tank light, but this is the Lamini spotlight. It comes out just as far, but you can change the settings to have a slightly more blue tone, somewhere in between where we were before. I think that's going to work well. Oh, we better get on with it. Right, there we go. It's pretty much the same colour at the moment because it's on the same colour setting, but we can adjust it. I've just realised something. This isn't the one I can adjust. It's those. Okay, swap it again. There we go. Now we can adjust it. So this one's got switches because it's the much newer version. Mode. That's very blue. That's very white. That's very that. And it's about the same, actually. So yeah, this one you can even see, look, on the top of the light. It's got a little bit more of a bluer tone to it. And yeah, I think that's a happy little medium. And this way, it's still a macroalgae tank. Oh, look, the fish are coming forward now. Finally, guys. Oh, no, they're going back again. I'm gonna put some food in for them. Fishies, fishies. These guys know the tap, so they're expecting, but I've been fiddling around with the tank so much, they might be a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now they're getting it. Nice little meal for them. I've got a pellet for them, but I also feed them frozen foods as well, sort of alternate it. But look how healthy they look. Great, we've got male and a female there. Clownfish are obviously strange because the male is determined by the by the more aggressive of the two. Like I think they can both be females and then one becomes male. And then if you've got a group of even more, if the male dies, then the strongest female becomes the male. I think I've got that right, but that's crazy, the fact that they can do that. So cool. And what I'm liking about this light a lot more, you see, is that around the edges of the white, you've got that blue poking through, and it was all kind of bleached out as purple before. So I just like the fish a lot better with this one. And this is my favourite tank to sort of sit and look at when I'm working on editing and things like that. Right! I did say yesterday that I was going to give you an update of what we were doing on this one. We were expecting it to be clear by now. It's not clear, it's almost clear, but you might notice completely different lights. So I've switched over to my absolute favourite, the Laminis, the pendant Lamini lights. These are the bigger version, and look, I mean, the colour rendition is far, far superior to those other ones I had. It was so white, but as you come down, again, it's not clear yet, but it's going to be clear soon. The actual substrate is the colour it should be, which is like a more of a yellowy colour. The rocks as well, far more in keeping with what we were seeing in the lake, you know, the real underwater lake pictures. Really happy with that. All the fish are using the areas at the top as well, so I've created even more structures for them to hide and create territories in, and they're using the bottom, so there's plenty of space for the fish for sure. They have been out more, but I've just been fiddling the tank. We did some water changes, obviously changed the lights over. Also cleaned the filter out as well. It was absolutely filthy. But yeah, we're just waiting for it to clear, and by tomorrow morning it should be perfect, and I'll be able to release like the build video, which you probably have seen already if you're a regular viewer of the channel. This scum down here is annoying me though. I'm going to get that out. But we didn't actually settle on these lights. Tried a strip light first that was raised up, but it just didn't give the shimmer. And like when we looked at the footage, there was quite a lot of shimmer in the lake. I'll show you what I mean. This is the one over here. Yeah, so we added this light, so you can see this are the brackets from the previous ones. We added this strip light over the top of it. Strip lights never create much of a shimmer unless you've got the surface going nuts. This tank doesn't look its best at the moment. We've just given it a hack back. It grew too long, and when it grows too long, you tend to get some DARF underneath. But that's here for now, for the time being. I might even just buy some more of the Luminis. I just love them. I think they do a great job. But yeah, that's where we're at. So the point of this video was that so many of you are asking me about the saltwater tank. I've just left it. I've just enjoyed it for what it was. It's time to switch it up, so that's what I've done. And hopefully it's given you some nice information on it all. Hopefully you're pleased with it all as much as I am. I think the light looks way better for me anyway. And yeah, some updates to the studio. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If I've earned a subscribe, please give me one. See you on the next one.